let's talk about traveling because I had lots of ideas in my head when we were going to do this last week, and then I half forget about some of the things I learned about you. But I
Okay.
do remember that you like traveling, both you and your wife.
Yeah,
So where have
love
you
it.
been?
Where have I been? So I've been all over the United States. Some of my favorite places in the U.S. Are we good?
Yeah,
Technically?
yeah, we're doing fine.
Great. All right, start that one over. I've been everywhere in the United States, basically. Some of my favorite places are the Northeast. I love Boston, um, mostly just Boston. I've been to like the Florida. Went to Savannah last year. Did an Airbnb in Savannah. That was awesome. This great old house with a grand piano and just right off one of the parks and down in the old town Savannah. Just beautiful. Um, Love California, love all of the coast. I grew up in Oregon. So I've been to Mexico and some of the Caribbean islands, Aruba, Puerto Rico. Um, love Europe. We just got back from filming other versions of you, parts, the overseas portions in Iceland and France. Loved both those places. I've been to Germany, been to the Far East, like China. My wife and I hope to go visit her dad in Taiwan. Well, he lives in Vegas, but we're going to go with him to visit his old family in Taiwan over Christmas.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was actually just reunited with him. They were estranged for like 20 years, so
Oh.
she's just sort of rekindled the relationship there. And so we're going to go to these 300-400-year-old genealogical lines in Taiwan and visit family. So, yeah, we now that we're sort of out of our strong religious context where we were told that this is important and this is the purpose of life and this is what we kind of landed on travel as being the way to be a good human, that you get a more full reality, like your brain, you actually get smarter, you get to be more human, like you understand more about the world when you travel. That's what I feel.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I haven't done as much as I would like. But even when I'm not traveling, there are often times where I'll experience other people. Like, if I'm traveling to even LA, like I'll stay in a hostel and
Yeah,
see
for sure.
lots of different people from different places. So
Yeah.
it's pretty nice.
Hey, Comcast guy,
Hello.
how's it going?
Good. How are
Do you
y'all?
need
Good,
anything?
thanks.
You're just
Things
gonna
good
check
to
the
go.
breaker?
Yeah. No, your line comes in over here somewhere. So
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna double check your configuration, and then right now your signal upstairs is too weak. So I got to figure out how to get that line a little bit
Okay.
stronger.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Sorry to bother you.
No worries.
Anyways,
Sorry.
that's Kris, the Comcast guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Travel, meeting people, LA.
Yeah, so just staying at hostels and seeing lots of people that come in from other countries, and it's really nice hearing their perspective of like just the states in general and lots of other things. And so I don't feel like I've gone places and I never quite feel like I have a
Sorry.
culture shock. No
Leaf
worries.
blower.
I know. This is
Okay.
real life right here. Yeah, like I don't feel like I've ever, any place that I've gone to or people that I've talked to had a culture shock, and it's because of that, like being able to be well-rounded and figuring out the
Yeah.
world through everyone else, because the world is not just our tiny little bubble, but it's
Right.
everything.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always get tired when I stay overseas longer than if you're just going as a tourist or going for a little vacation. It's one thing, but if you want to actually try to integrate into a community from a different culture, it's very tiring.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not shock, but it's a dull ache of just like, oh yeah, while your brain adjusts to like everything being different.
Yeah,
So
that's true, because at that point you kind of have to live differently. Like you're not just experiencing people living differently, like you personally have to change how you live the world.
yeah, see it
Yeah.
and how you operate in it. Yeah, for sure. And I think both are useful. The sort of short, high concentrated, and then also the low dose, long term. I think both are really important.
Yeah. While you guys were filming other versions of you, did you have to ingrain a lot in the culture, like how they did that, or were
No, not really. I mean, in Iceland, we stayed in Airbnbs, and I have some family that lives there, and so that was my third time there, and so I had kind of figured a few things out about how that country works, and it's very different, but not so different. That's the other thing that's a little disheartening. It's just how approaching homogeneity, is that the word? Homogeneity. Approaching homogeneity, we're still very different. But most of the places I've gone, there's so much overlap that entering into the society isn't as hard as it would have been, 20, 30, 40 years ago. So, no, not on our travels. We played the dumb Americans wherever we went.
Yeah.
So.
Did you had your entire crew kind of self-contained then, so you didn't have to work with anyone else outside?
In Iceland, we really would have loved to find some more locals that could have helped us. In Iceland, through my family connections, found a few people that helped us out. One guy, his name was Dagur. He was a godsend. He was just with us the whole time, setting things up, talking to people, helping scout locations, equipment, etc. And we had our hair and makeup woman there, and then we actually flew her to France with us because we liked her, and she came to France with us. And in France, we didn't have any French people that were helping us, but we did send a guy ahead of us, like a week, and he spent a week just by himself trying to get his towards on. That's how I've heard it described. Get his towards on. Awesome. It's a cable guy who's helping us get set up in a new place. So
You need internet.
we do. We definitely do.
Although I feel like that now that everybody is online, that probably contributes to the homogeneity of the world.
Yeah.
Because we're all, like before, everyone would kind of experience their own little culture, but now we pretty much share culture. So there's not quite as many differences.
Yeah. I think on the outset, most of the world has gotten very accommodating to the outsider on a short term. But if you were to try to integrate, that's where I think the differences in culture would really start to show up. And then I think after that phase ends, you actually start to see how just the same we are, everyone. Yeah. So it's kind of a strange cycle. But anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting even being with other people's families and trying to learn that whole dynamic. I stayed for almost a week with one of my best friends who is now, since he recently got married, also has this other family that he has to deal with. So seeing how different he is now from then, and then me figuring out how to be part of that. Because they invited me in as family, so it wasn't even I felt like I was visiting. I felt like I was living life with them for a while. So even that's kind of interesting. You are the same, but not.
Yeah, every family has its own culture too. Yeah. Every house, really.
Yeah.
Cool.
People are fascinating. So big goal, ultimate goal. Where would you love to be, love to do?
My big goal on the inside is that when I take a role, that I let it move me as a person. Kris actually gets changes, that there's something in the process of the role and performing, whether on set or in character preparation or whatever, that actually gets deep into me and moves me. That's what I want. And I've kind of had to let go of the external result, whether that's, I want to be an A-list movie star, or I want to, have my own talk show or something, whatever. Or I want to be a highly sought-after acting coach to the child stars, whatever. I've had to let go of all that just because it's not in my control. But if I can be moved by my work, every role, or at least really try hard to get every role to move me, then I win. Yeah, then I'll enjoy myself.
Do you prefer the ones that you can get lost in that are kind of not at all like you, or would you rather see a bit of yourself in your character?
I've never really been asked to do anything way outside of me, and that's partly because there's so many actors to choose from. That it's not hard to find a good actor, even among a certain character type or certain sort of obscure flavor of actor, you can find a good one. And so for that reason, there's very few actors even today, even in among A-list circles, that are really asked to do things that are very different from who they are. So I would love to do that. I've done it before, but not often and not for money. So, yeah.
It seems like it would be a good challenge. Yeah, I've not either. And it's kind of tough. Joseph Gordon-Levitt once said that he would never take a role that's like him because he would rather just kind of get lost in his character. And I find that to be kind of fascinating.
But have you seen a Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie?
Yes.
He plays basically the same person every time.
He does. Maybe
Well,
that person is just not him. So he always plays the person that's not him well. I haven't quite
I'm
figured that
skeptical
out.
of that one. I mean, I hear what he's saying, so,
Yeah.
and I've never had coffee with him, so maybe he is very strange and different than how he is on his movies, but it's weird. I played a psychopath in this great film where I strangled people. That was how I got off. That was my thing. So that's probably the most different from me. However, I'm a bit of a psychopath. So there. Big admission, everyone. Okay? Watch out for me.